Hey, welcome to Art This. Give yourself a hand, everybody. Thank you for coming. Hey, John.
How you doing, Stephen?
I'm good. I am very excited because behind us, we're going to have a great band featured with us today. I've been excited to have them all season long. And right here in the very last episode, we have Kopenhagen.
Kopenhagen. What is it? Tobacco music? What is it?
We'll have to wait and see.
All right.
How about you?
It sounds exciting. Well, on Art This, every month we go out and we visit with an artist in their natural element. Last time you visited with the talented Joe Sarter.
Right, Joe.
And one of his colleagues was nice enough to spend some time with us this month. Her name is Luann Kelly-Parkansky, a very talented artist. She does artist bookmaking, which is a very unusual form of bookmaking, not to be confused with betting on horse races. Drawing, painting, she does clay, she does photography, but I think lately she's most into what she calls wearable art, making her own clothing from fabric that she creates. And it's really extraordinary. But mainly what we'll focus on in our piece this week is her artist bookmaking and some of the things I mentioned earlier. So let's enjoy this brief feature with Luann Kelly-Parkansky.
I got my undergraduate art degree at the University of Buffalo back in, gosh, what, 98, I guess. And I worked with printmaking and ceramics and bookmaking. I made artist books. I worked for the university libraries at the University of Buffalo, and I worked in the book preservation lab, so I learned quite a lot about paper. And I've done a lot of paper making, although that's not paper I made, it is paper that I cut. This is a book that I made when I was in grad school. It was, it's called Drift, and it's about the tectonic plates and the possibility that there were maybe cultures in our distant past that we might find if we dug hard enough. And on the front of this are two bronze fossils of creatures that I created that knew how to use machines. So that was my idea, that there are things that we don't know about lying under the ground that have been lost to us. There's some photography. There's some marbleized paper back here. I worked a lot on making my own paper. This is handmade paper in this window. If I can pull this out a little bit. I'm afraid I'll never get it back in. That is a that is a photocopy of some of my marbled paper. And it just seemed to fit really well to make it black and white and put it in this piece. Multimedia just really appeals to me because I love the juxtaposition of old and new and, you know, fuzzy and slick and, you know, all of those dichotomies. Now this one, all of my books are interactive, and this one is, these are made from, this is when I was really into the digital, especially after we did the book project in Buffalo. These are pages, and these are based on a New York City subway map that would do this, would pop out like this. And then I played with sewing and photographs and marbled paper, a lot of copying, a lot of color copying. There's handmade paper in here. I think this one was the inside, used to be the inside of an envelope, that particular pattern, and then I'd copy it and change the size on a copier and just played around with pattern. And that's paste paper that I laid on the copier and made photocopies of. And then I'll show you the trick that it does. This is usually the way that I display this, is like this. So my artwork does tricks. This is another one that was most of these were playing with formats because there's so many wonderful book formats. And this one is called a tunnel book. And they're all kind of interactive. You open it that way, and you see through. And these are lithographs that I made the book out of. Of course, my printing teacher was horrified that I would cut up my prints and use them for books, but that's what I wanted to do. So I mean, I have tons of books, tons and tons of books, and but we better move on. I really got into drawing after I got out of school. And I started doing journals, and I do a lot of gardening, so I started keeping garden journals. And then I started just documenting my life. So this was a drawing of a dream. It was very distinctive, that dream. It was about I dreamed that there was a stake wrapped around my hand. And I was screaming, because I don't like snakes, for someone to get it off. And there was no one there to help me. And then all of a sudden I had this aha moment, and I realized I can help myself. And so I unwrapped it. And I mean, that's a pretty intense dream. You don't forget that. So the next day, I don't know if it was the next day or not, but it was significant. So I drew it.
You're about half free in the drawing.
Yeah, yeah, right. So that's a good metaphor for life, that you can help yourself.
How do you get that close to the world? Where is your head?
Oh, everything else is shut out. When I put a leaf down on the table in front of me, I mean, I don't really consider myself an artist. I consider myself a copyist, and I kind of have a knack for being able to copy detail from nature. And I will follow a line, and it's just fun. I mean, it's just so absorbing, and everything else goes away, and I just sit and do it. And the goal is to make it look just like it looks, which, I didn't do for many years as an artist. I did only abstract work. And this was a revelation for me. And it started because of gardening. I'm not that interested in framed artwork. I have gotten interested with some encouragement from other people, but these sketchbooks have been so important to me. And I have done more good, to me, from my point of view, I've done more good work in those books than any of these framed things. And the nice thing about them is they have, they can express time, and they can express change. And I think those are, I don't know, they're more so than a single picture on a wall. I mean, they can really expose things about people and expose things to the person that's doing.
Yeah. Do you continue making art after all these years? Because if you don't, you're like a runner that gets restless, or is it that you're reaching towards something you haven't got to yet? Just what's your fuel? I
think you said it pretty well. I'm not going towards anything. I'm too scattered to go towards anything. So I do it because it's just what I do. It's just, I don't really do anything else this well. So, and it's just, I always come back to it. I mean, I ride horses, I do a lot of different things, but I always come back to artwork. I always come back to some kind of self-expression.
Are we confusing language with art when we insist on a message from art?
For me, it's about aesthetics. It's about how things look. And every artist I've ever known has, when they do a piece of artwork, some of them comes through, and you see that. And to me, that's as important as any political artwork. I'm not interested in political art. But I have noticed when people do drawings, figurative drawings, I'll look at what they're doing, and I'll look at their face, and I see their face in the drawing, which says, I mean, that speaks volumes. And to me, that's enough for art to be about.
All right. Hey, how about that, Stephen?
Very nice.
Luann Kelly-Parkansky, quite a talented artist, and that's just the surface of what she has done. You may have noticed there at the end the shots of the fabric and the clothing. She honestly is making her own fabric from scratch in some cases, or taking old pieces like old silk and then adding new filaments or textile elements to it. It's really quite remarkable. Shirts, hats, gloves, just beautiful pieces, scarves that she paints, and it's really remarkable. So that's just a sliver of what she's capable of that we saw today, and it's in that in itself is quite impressive. It's important to know that Luann is the president of the Cave Run Arts Association, and that she can be found online there in relation to that group, and also on Facebook. So if you want to check out more of Luann Kelly-Parkansky's work, check her out on Facebook. All right, so Stephen, I understand we have a new feature coming up.
We do, John. Art This First, on the very last episode of this season. Our very first fartist, our phone artist, Carla Stepp, also does DSLR photography. And we asked her if she would like to be featured once again in our very first segment called NART, which is Nature Art. And Carla has a lovely selection of pictures for us to use here. So let's take a look at Carla Stepp, NART.
Connecting you with employers and graduate program. Get info to launch your career now. Turning you into a professional. Focus on professional development. Start your job or internship now. Let Career Services help you separate yourself from the crowd. Develop into an expert candidate. Career Services is here to help. Build a network. Hands-on workshop. Career Services, turning you into a professional.
My name is Scotty Purnell. I've been here 9 years. We take the trash out of the buildings and put it in the garbage truck. In there, the chute is way up high on the wall where the trash comes out into the buggy. And you have to take a big iron hook, reach up and hook the trash, and it's falling down towards you. It's not a boring job. It's, you can get out and talk. We're always finding something very interesting. You never know what you're going to find in the trash. I like my job very much.
Welcome back to Art This. Ladies and gentlemen, been excited about this all season. We finally got them on the show in their debut performance. Without any further ado, Kopenhagen.
Went down by the river, gonna swim across to the other shore. We found the river rising, the house is all gone. The muddy water done washed them away. We got in the boat to find survivors and to try to find all the rest. Ohio River, Portsmouth under, anybody know his sensei's still there. I got an old man at his house. He gave me a razor, said, son, you need it more than me. Ohio River, Portsmouth under, that muddy water gonna carry us away. Ohio River, Portsmouth under, that muddy water gonna carry us away. Ohio River, Portsmouth under, that muddy water gonna carry us away. Ohio River, Portsmouth under, that muddy water gonna carry us away.
All right, welcome back to Art This. I am here with John Rogers of Kopenhagen. John, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's good to be here.
First of all, tell us a little bit about your band here and the type of music you guys play.
Well, I've been playing with these guys for a while. Should I introduce them, I guess? This is Josh Beaker on drums. Josh and I work together at Hot Rod's Guitar Shop. He used to be my boss, now I'm his boss, so it's the way the world works. And back here is Bill Tackett, best bass player you'll ever find, and pretty good electric motor repairman. So, give you a little plug-in for that.
How'd you come up with this type of music that you play?
Well, we used to play a lot of rockabilly stuff, and I really like that kind of music, but it gets a little stale. The thing with rockabilly music is you can pretty much only play like car shows and 50s reunions, which are slowly fading away. But I was just listening to a lot of music that I'd listened to at the earlier part of my life, like high school age music, and I realized, man, these records are just as good as they were back then. A lot of Lou Reed and Sonic Youth, Pavement, things like that, and we just wanted to experiment a little bit with our sound, and so that's where Kopenhagen came from.
All right. Now I notice a lot of pedals around here.
Yeah, when I played rockabilly music, I used 3 pedals. I'm up to 11 now, and I'm planning to expand it a little bit. One of my favorite guitar players is Nels Cline of Wilco. He uses somewhere around 200 pedals live.
Wow.
Don't know if I'll go that big because I can't afford all the power supplies, but we'll keep it smaller. But pedals are kind of like colors on a palette. You shouldn't depend on them to play, but they just add a touch of something different every time you need a different sound.
Now I see some springs over here. What's up with these springs?
Those are for making sound effects. It's actually a trick I picked up from Nels Cline. You'll hear that in the second song. There's a breakdown at the end where you start rubbing them on the strings, and springs and strings together makes kind of an odd bowed effect. It's just a way to make noise. Before I was using those, I would hit the guitar with a drumstick or something like that, just anything to make noise. So.
Now you were the very first guest on Art This.
I was.
As a solo artist.
Yep, doing country music.
Yeah.
Again, just a progression, I suppose, of just wanting to do something a little different, and you don't ever want to get stale. You look at an artist like Bob Dylan, he's put out so many different genres of music, so we're just trying to do something different. So.
All right, so from the very first show until our final episode here in this season, some good stuff. So thank you all for coming.
And congratulations, I heard you're taking over for Craig Ferguson on the Late Late Show.
Well, they've called, and we're still negotiating the contract, but we'll see what the university
is your agent still Tony Clifton?
It is.
Okay.
Give him a call.
All right.
Hey, will you guys stick around and play one more for us?
I think we can.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with some more Kopenhagen. Good job.
Tried to call you on the phone, but they said you were not home. And I feel like a man with a disease. Saturday night never felt so alone. I chopped the block just once or twice. I look around at the city lights. Drive out to the old high school. Yeah, whatever happened to this place? And let's take the long road to find. And let's take the long road to find what we were looking for. There's tombs all up and down Main Street. And everyone seems to scream your name. In small towns and sadness, they don't mix. Saturday night never felt so alone. I tried to call you on the phone, but they said you were not home. And I feel like a man with a disease. Your Saturday night never felt so alone. And let's take the long road to find and take the long road to find what we were looking. Take the long road to find and let's take the long road to find what we were looking at.
Connecting you with employers and graduate program. Get info to launch your career now. Turning you into a professional. Focus on professional development. Start your job or internship now. Let Career Services help you separate yourself from the crowd. Develop into an expert candidate. Career Services is here to help. Build a network. Hands-on workshop. Career Services, turning you into a professional.
Hey.
Hey, John, how about Kopenhagen?
Well, they were fantastic.
Fantastic.
You know how to dig them up, Stephen.
I do. That's one thing I know.
Yeah.
It's the people that are interesting in the world.
You do. This show works because you find great guests. You know people.
Well,
and I appreciate it.
thank you. I try.
And it's 8 episodes we've
That's
done
right.
so far.
8 episodes. It's
Yeah. We're going to take the summer. We're going to go out in
Yeah.
the field. We're going to find artists in their natural habitat. We're going to get in their face, and we're going to get in their clay.
Yeah.
We're going to find everything we can find to share with folks next fall.
That's right.
You know, when people come on Art This, their lives change.
That's right.
And tell the folks what happened to Ron Crowder from RC and the
Ron Crowder and
Nightshades.
the Nightshades, the first guest on this season's run of Art This. Life's a lot better now since he was on Art This. We got him a autographed harmonica from Lee Oscar himself.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And that's the type of harmonica Mr. Middleton plays, by the way.
Lee Oscar Harmonica sponsors our show, and he's gladly sent us some harmonicas with autographs to give out to our studio audience.
I
so
think we
thank
got a
you.
picture of Ron with that, don't we?
do.
Where is that?
Yeah. Let's take a look at that.
There it is. Look how happy he looks.
In his Art This t-shirt.
His life is better. He's wearing the Art This t-shirt, too.
right.
All right. Well, Ron, we love you, and we hope to have you and the whole band back in the fall. Wouldn't that be great?
It would be great.
All right. Well, I guess we're about done, aren't we?
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
Let's take it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Thank you. Woo!